Hello, everyone. Today we will be talking about ARM Mobile. Introduction, I guess, in the fact that it's kind of the basic information about our data collection app. We'll cover a presentation on how it all works, how it puts together, and probably won't have time in kind of our shortened, condensed format. Probably won't have time to actually show it off unless we move real quickly, but we'll find out here. So let's get started here. So ARM Mobile, for those of you who have not seen it before, is our note-taking application for trial assessments. The big key is that it is compatible on iOS or Android devices. Kind of the one sticking point with ARM, we're stuck in the Windows environment. This is kind of a movement to a whole lot of other devices out there, which is great. And the goal of ARM Mobile is to extend ARM to the field and really creating a connection to your ARM trial in a sense without requiring actual internet during note-taking. You can leverage ARM's consistency tools like our favorites list and the SE standard evaluations across all of your note takers. You can take plot photos with ARM Mobile and they get renamed and cataloged with the ARM trial back in the office. And reviewing data immediately after the assessment really maximizes the quality of that assessment. So our development of the app really targeted kind of the core principles of quality research, where we're entering data immediately at the trial location. Consistency in the assessments must extend across dates, across different note takers, and even across locations. So, the standardization features that are deployed with ARM Mobile really can help with this effort. The only way to ensure data integrity is to review the data while still at the trial site. So, being able to visualize that data is definitely the most efficient way to catch any mistakes or irregularities, that you just can't get by writing down a list of numbers on a piece of paper. Having the tools to visualize and review that quickly is really important for that. And finally, data transfer should occur in a professional manner. So not transcribing from paper to computer and not copy and paste it from file to file. It really eliminates the possibility for human error when you don't have your hands on it per se. So taking a look at the workflow with ARM Mobile, the first component, we really start with ARM software and we call it the base information. So that's primarily your favorites lists from ARM that are related to data entry. So things like your standard evaluations, the assessed by, which becomes your list of ARM Mobile users, crop and pests that are commonly used, and those assessment related lists like part rated, your measurement units, things like that. All of this information is copied to a cloud storage service. We support Dropbox, OneDrive, and Google Drive on the PC where your ARM is already at. Then ARM Mobile downloads that base info during the installation and setup of the app on your phone. Next is the individual trial files. The trial definition is sent to the cloud, which isn't the entire ARM GAT trial file. So the trial definition consists of your SE definitions list, any columns that don't yet have data, attachments, and some of the site details. So that information is saved to the trial def folder in the cloud, which again gets imported into ARM Mobile. After using the app to record data, taking pictures, reviewing the assessments, then you export the data to the cloud once you have internet access. ARM then automatically imports that data back into the trial file on the computer when that file is opened. You don't even have to do a special import. It'll just come in automatically when you are next working with that trial on your computer with ARM. So you're kind of taking a look at the app itself. The first step is importing the trial definitions from your cloud storage. So that does require internet access. So you would do that, in the office to make sure you download all of those trials so that they're available on that mobile device wherever you go. Then, when you are at the trial site, ready to start your day, start taking notes, then you select the trials that you're going to rate in that session. And so from here on out, the app is running totally locally. You don't need any internet access. If you're out in the middle of nowhere with no cell coverage or anything like that, it is just running locally on the device. Then you select or you create assessment columns to take the data. So that's where SEs come into play, or if you've done that assessment previously, you can copy that description, the header portion, to reuse it. Or if you've had those columns already set up in your trial from the get-go, those are all available to select then in the app. Then go ahead and record the data. And that has the options there on the screen for taking any pictures or typing in a comment. You can also mark that value to exclude it from the analysis as well, if you need to. Once the data is taken, then you can review the assessment with a heat map. Really just drawing out the trial map, but instead of coloring by treatments or anything, it colors in a gradient based on the assessment values that were taken. And that can help catch any issues, any things that were mistyped, see some sort of spatial effect across the map, things like that. The key being you can spot these things before you've left the site. So now something's really odd with plot 104. There you can click on a plot and see all the information and go, that doesn't seem right. That's way too high or way too low of a value. That doesn't make much sense. Well, I'm still here. Let's just walk back over to that plot and check it out. Did I type something wrong? Is there something weird that's going on? I maybe need to take a little more documentation because this is very strange. Things like that. Finally, then, once you get back to internet somewhere, whether it's just the top of the hill where you have cell coverage or back in the office, you can come back to the app to export your data back to the cloud. So, to communicate and send the information out to that Dropbox or the OneDrive, then of course you'll need internet access at that point to send that information out. So to use ARM Mobile for your company, a connection and a data plan is required. So we call it the Electronic Data Collector add-in, or EDC, is the connection between ARM software and any data collection app like ARM Mobile. So, at the technical level, we're just enabling ARM to export your trial definitions and the base information that then gets used by ARM Mobile. This EDC, it also includes the tablet data collector add-in. So if you already have an active TDCX license that you've used before with the tablet data collector, you get a free upgrade to this EDC. It's kind of just all one entity now. Then the second step is to purchase a data plan. So the data points that are exported from ARM Mobile are counted anonymously. So GDM does not see any of your data. It's just counting up the data points. And so those get tallied, and then you're just billed per company invoice. So just one big group. You only need one plan for each group. And the idea there is really only to scale up appropriately for big companies. So our target with that step 2 is just 80% of ARM users all are going to fit under just the basic, the level 1 plan. And it's just a mechanism for companies that take tens of thousands of data points across a whole bunch of different researchers. We want to just scale appropriately. They obviously should pay a little more compared to someone who's just a one-man shop type of CRO with just a few people. It wouldn't make sense to have the exact same pricing. So that data plan is just that mechanism. But by and large, almost everyone would be on just the most basic plan there. And the reason this is structured this way, if it sounds almost needlessly complicated, the goal is that the ARM mobile app itself is free. So you can use it on as many devices as you would like. There isn't any activation, there's no registration, there's nothing that we have to see. We literally don't know how many devices out there are running ARM mobile right at this point in time. There isn't some formal tracking that goes on relative to ARM software that's got this official activation and all of that. We wanted the mobile app to be on anyone's device that might be out there taking notes. We want it to be really easy to let everyone have access to it. And we really are just licensing the connection, the information going out to populate the mobile app for your group. And then, when the information comes in, how much of it's coming in, how much is it used? And that's really our approach. So that way there's no trepidation of how many devices should we purchase, who should use this, things like that. It's just everyone, hey, if you're an intern that's out here just for a couple months to help us, do you have a phone? Oh, of course you have a phone in your pocket. Pull up this app, we'll show you how to get set up, and you can take notes for us. Just something as lightweight and easy as that. We didn't want a burden to get up and going with the app. And a question in the chat, which is a really good question about this app, and I do keep calling it an app on purpose, but it is not in the App Store, either in the Android Google Play Store or the Apple's store. One of the big reasons is that Google and Apple wanted a lot of money from us if the app was in their store, and it just didn't make sense. So this app is actually a web app. So we've got a URL that you can go to, and that's actually how you access the app. And it downloads the information locally. Like I said, it runs offline just like a regular app can. It's just a little bit different from the technological side to sidestep the preposterous app, Apple wanting 30% of all of our sales and things like that end up being out there in the App Store and the Play Store scenario. So great question there. And so, overall, I guess our goal is just to, make it as easy as possible to modernize your data collection. Um, we we really see ARM Mobile as an option in addition to the tablet data collector. So again, if you've used that or seen that before, we're not replacing that by any means, but there were definitely some struggles with that TDC offering that we had. Primarily just being the availability and the cost of a tablet, both monetary and in obtaining a tablet. Some parts of the world, even it's nearly impossible to get a reliable one. But then the cost of just upkeeping that, it's another device that we have to keep up to date with Windows updates and keep track of and all of that. And so it is a really big investment to go that route. And so we're hoping ARM Mobile is much more lightweight in that regards. And everyone's got a phone or an iPad laying around, something like that can be used for this. So hoping that you still have either option. And if you do reach out and ask us about ARM Mobile, a lot of times we try to take a step back and ask you, what are you currently doing for data collection, things like that, because really hearing your setup, there might be different ways you can approach our options. Sometimes it makes more sense to do a tablet data collector, and other times it's like, no, your group would be perfectly set up for ARM Mobile. So we see it moving forward. It's a hand-in-hand option, not a we're going to replace the mobile app with the tablet data collector and just get rid of that entirely. It's really going to be two things. How best would it fit for you and your group on your data collection workflow? And finally, kind of the newest thing to announce here related to ARM Mobile is we do have a brand new tutorial series that walks through the installation and setup of the app, as well as actually getting in and using it, entering your data, the data review features we've got in there, and how to export that data out. So kind of from top to bottom, how to get it set up, which usually is kind of the hardest part, is getting started and get everything up and running, and then actually using it on all the different steps and tools within the app that you can take advantage of. So a couple of places you can find that video series. If you are part of our ARM Academy LMS, our training portal out on the internet, we've added that course, all of those videos as a course you can go through. It kind of tracks your progress. So of course, if you just watch a couple videos and have to leave and come back later, it shows your progress of where you're at. That's all in that. And the URL there is on the screen to go out there. It's free to sign up. If you have not used that before, you can just go in there and create an account. You don't have to have a specific ARM license or anything like that. It's free for anyone to go in there, and you can learn the basics of ARM or any of our other add-ins as well. But you'll see in the course catalog now this ARM Mobile course to watch. Also, all of those videos are out on our YouTube channel as well. So we have I think it's a playlist that queues all of them up, or if you just search ARM Mobile out in YouTube, those should come up for you. And they're just bite-sized little videos to just kind of step you through each step of the process. All right. Well, that's really the the sales pitch, I guess, if you will, of the high level overview with ARM, with ARM Mobile, I should say. There's really kind of two steps. And if you if you look at that course with ARM Mobile, there's kind of really two phases, if you will. That initial setup. Actually, let me go back to that workflow slide. Really kind of two steps when you look at implementing it. You just kind of have that in the office when you first buy the license, kind of getting things up and running, where you're on your computer with your ARM software. Oops, keep my hand off the mouse so I don't keep moving it. Where you're in the software and we get all of those favorites lists. If you haven't used them before, you want to populate those lists with things that you commonly use. So that way those short little lists are available in your app for everyone to choose from. Obviously, we can't send across the entire EPO catalog of every pest that's out there in the globe. That's gonna bog down the mobile app. So we rely on your favorites lists of the things you choose that you have already been using in your ARM software, and that gets copied out into that cloud folder for all of your apps to use. So there's a little bit of that setup, kind of a one-person deal, or per research group, if you will. Who has the best lists? Who wants to be in charge of exporting our trials out, and also the one that imports the data back in as it's being taken. It's pretty flexible. There's a lot of different options on how you actually want to approach the licensing. You can get that connection for everyone in your group. If everyone wants to send out their trials and be the importers, or a lot of times a group will just kind of pick one person. That's kind of the main person in charge, and they do the setup, and then everyone else just uses their mobile devices to take notes. We've tried to set it up real flexible so you can do what you need to do. The downside is there's so many options, it's hard to talk about all of them because it makes it sound like it's hard. But the question about if the mobile app is more flexible to use than the tablet, I would say so. So the key difference really is this trial definition compared to the tablet. So the tablet data collector, that is ARM running on a Windows tablet. It's obviously got extra features for an interface for entering data, but at the core it's ARM. So you are in the trial file yourself. So really only one person can have a file open at a time. So in that regards, the tablet is limited as far as that goes. Compared to ARM Mobile, this is just the trial definition. It's just some information about the trial that we're copying out to the cloud, so any of your mobile devices can reference it and know what information to have, and any of those devices can create a new assessment column and fill in notes. So in that regard, it is a lot more flexible. I could have 3 people out in the field doing a different assessment with a separate phone, and all 3 of them can be connected to this same folder that has that same trial definition, but we'll each be working in our own assessment column. And when we export our data, there'll just be 3 different files all in this folder that have our data. And all 3 of those get brought back in by ARM into that one trial. So from that standpoint, the mobile app has more flexibility, has just more options you can do, as opposed to where that tablet is, it's just limited in the fact that it's opening that trial file, and really only one person can work in a trial file at a time. And so you're doing that, and the functions themselves, the interface to type things in, the data review features are pretty similar between the 2 options. Obviously, with the tablet, you do have all of ARM. So, if you wanted to bring up a AOV report when you're all done with the data, or you wanted to do some graphing, those functions are all there on the tablet. whereas of course your mobile app doesn't have all of those functions. Yeah, and a good question, that trials themselves cannot be created in the mobile app. And that's exactly right. That is kind of the one, not barrier, but the one hurdle to realize is a little bit of planning ahead of time is required to use an app or to use TDC, as opposed to a paper pencil. I can just start writing things down and organize myself later. This really pushes you to be somewhat set up. So you do need to have a trial created, but you don't necessarily have to have the assessments planned out. I don't have to have a schedule of every assessment I'm going to do in the next 2 months for every single trial. You can create assessments with the mobile app. Totally from scratch. Because if you're out there and, oh, I didn't realize that this field is headed out already, and I need to go take notes, or, oh, I wasn't expecting this weed here, I need to take notes on that too. You can create assessments with the app, but it does need to have something to connect to. There has to be that trial already set up. And that's partially why I don't have the URL on the screen. I certainly could put it up here to see it, but there's not much you can do with the mobile app from the get-go, because you need something to fill it with. That said, if you are interested in trying it out before purchasing, we have a demonstration version that's available. Basically, we've created some of our tutorial trials and some dummied up favorites lists and things like that that I have in Dropbox and in Google Drive, things like that we can give to you, so that way, or give you access to, so that way on your device you can try out the app with those pretend trials and lists and things like that. So if you're interested in just kicking the tires on it to see what it's about, just let us know. Just send us an email and we can get you started just to try it out with example files and see what all it does. Like I said, if we had more time, I could bring up the app and walk through that process. Hopefully, at least these screenshots kind of give you an idea. The interface is simple, make it easy to click on, because presumably it's on a phone. It does work fine on an iPad. Everything is just bigger, even easier to click on, but it's really the same interface. Just let us know, I guess, if you want to give it a try, or if you do have more questions on how to get started with it, definitely reach out. All right, any other questions? If not, I was actually short-winded enough. That's a rarity. If you're with us on most of our webinars, it's a rarity that we have a minute or two left. So, all right, we're doing great. And again, just, I guess, reach out to us if you have any troubles or interest in the app. So thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.